Welcome back to AOPB Roundup. I'm Ryan. I'm here with a series roundup today on a Monday off day. Missed baseball, but it feels kind of good not having to track 8 different teams' Twitter accounts and live feeds and who's covering a live feed and who doesn't have a live feed. And if they do have a live feed, where is the live feed? Do I have to know somebody? Do I need to have a secret code delivered by carrier pigeon? It's difficult. We're grinding in these indie ball streets. But we're getting to chill today, getting to think a little bit about the week that was our first off day. Teams have cranked out 10 games in 10 days here. Boys getting some rest. It's a good thing. Enjoy the day. But let's talk about what's going on around the league. We're going to get things started recapping the weekend series. We're going to look at the Ducks, who went into Southern Maryland to kick off their divisional schedule. Blue Crabs shut out the Ducks in their home opener and from a sold-out crowd. You love to see that. All weekend, broadcasters were talking about how good the crowds look. So that's exciting to hear. Getting crowds back in ballparks, getting crowds in indie ball ballparks. Love that. You know, certain teams might have gotten that we don't need you anymore for Major League Baseball, but guess what? The fans still need them. That's all I'm going to say. Blue Crabs leading hot in front of their home crowd. Shut them out. Put Daryl Thompson on the mound. And I think it's hilarious. Like, Daryl Thompson had plenty of rest. I think it might have been 6 or 7 days of rest before getting this start. We'll say 6. I think it's like 6 days of rest. And whoever decided we're going to hold Daryl Thompson out and we're going to have him pitch opening day at home, well played. He shows up ready to go in front of the home crowd. 8 shutty, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Matt Latos finished it out. What a back-to-back. You're like, sweet, Daryl Thompson's out of the game. Matt Latos. Hate to see it. Kent Blackstone went 3 for 5, improving his average to 364. Brock Stassi doubled twice for Long Island. He's starting to break out. This was the first shutout of the Atlantic League season, and the Ducks were not happy about it. Came back in Game 2, 19-3 win, an 8-run 7th inning, and 14 runs after the 5th did the damage. Ryan Jackson and Johnny Turbo both homered. Johnny Turbo more than just a fast guy. Joey Oreo goes 6 innings for the Ducks, allows 1 earned, and gets the win. Stassi has another 2-hit game. Sal Giardina goes 3 for 5 for the Ducks. He's got a 1.097 at that point in an OPS. Like, come on, man. Sal Giardina. All right, on my 2021 even early season bingo card, I didn't have Sal Giardina raking for the Ducks this early. It wasn't what I was expecting. I was like, he's good behind the plate. Team guy, great mustache. And shows up with the bat, playing third. Also, okay, you do you, Sal. Steve Lombardozzi goes 4 for 4 with 2 doubles. However, it's Ryan Jackson who gets the AOPB Roundup game ball, going 4 for 6 with 1 home run and a double and 3 RBIs. Oh, by the way, Game 1, Daryl Thompson got the game ball. So I know we didn't mention it. It should go without saying. Daryl Thompson, game ball, 8 shutty, my dude. Brandon Barker took the loss for Southern Maryland. He followed up a tough outing with another tough outing from Dalton Geeky. Don't like to see that. Dalton Geek is one of the more reliable guys out of the Southern Maryland pen. You need to see good, consistent innings from him. High leverage, low leverage, whatever the case may be. Zach Collier, someone needs to talk to Zach Collier. Zach Collier came a single away from the cycle. I don't know how often that happens. And he had an opportunity to hit in the 9th and took a walk. Hey, Zach, doesn't matter where the pitch is. Hack until you get a chance to get your single, bud. It's a cycle. What are we doing? And you did the hard work. It was a single. That's all you needed. Get your cycle. Anyway, late innings would cost the Blue Crabs again in Game 3. The Ducks scored 5 in the final 3 innings of Game 3 of this series to take the rubber match 5-1. Squandered a 5-inning shutout start from Austin Glorious. Southern Maryland did. Ducks' Brendan Feldman also went 5 innings, gave up 1 earned. Both pitchers got no decisions in this one. Jose Cuas, whose name I like to think I'm getting right, he grabbed the win after pitching 3 strong innings and holding Southern Maryland scoreless in all of those. He is now scoreless in 6 2/3 of innings this season. I phrased that terribly. He is now pitched 6 2/3 innings, all of which were scoreless this season. Nailed it. Second time around. We got it. Hey, we're good. We're rolling. 9 Ks in those 6 2/3, only 4 hits allowed. In the 7th inning, Long Island took the lead with a Hector Sanchez bases clearing double, brought in 3 runs. He would go 2 for 4 on the day with a double and a walk, 3 RBI, grabs his second game ball of the season. Ben Farias singled in 2 insurance runs in the 9th, and Johnny Turbo did Johnny Turbo stuff, 3 steals, 6 for 6 on the year. For the record, if you're curious, because he is Johnny Turbo, for the record for single season steals belongs to Billy Hall, who stole 104 bags in 2000. I don't know that Giant Turbo is going to get there. I think he's on pace for like 75 right now, which would put him like 4th all time in the Atlantic League. He did have 125 games to put up that number, but Giant Turbo's got 120, so not too big of a difference. Certainly not 30 steals worth of difference, which is the way he's looking at it now. But hey, I'm rooting for Giant Turbo to do Giant Turbo stuff. Long Island moves to 5-4 on the season, second in the North Division. They wrap up their road trip and head on home to play High Point this week. Southern Maryland, they fall to 3-7, and they will take on fellow 3-7 team York this week. Lexington, they swept West Virginia in their first Atlantic League meeting. The Legends took it to them in Game 1, 15-6. They put up 12 runs in the first 3 innings of this game. Cole Sturgeon, Tillman Pugh, and Keon Barnum all went yard for Lexington. The Power's Elmer Reyes hit a 3-run home run as well. Eli Villanueva got shelled after having a solid start to the season. 6 earned runs in just an inning and a third. He'll take the loss. Cole Sturgeon gets the game ball in this one, his second of the season. 4 for 4 with a home run and a double. Cole Sturgeon, have yourself a day. Lexington would take Game 2 home run derby style 5-3. Only run not scored via home run in this one was on a wild pitch, and that run would have been scored via home run because Tillman Pugh went yard 4 pitches later. Brandon Phillips also hit his first home run of the season for Lexington. Ruby Silva hit 2 home runs for the Power. That gives him 5 on the season, tied with Ladarius Clark for first in the league. And that he actually gets the ALPB Roundup game ball, even though his team had the loss. First player to 3 game balls this season. Misael Silverio, that's what I'm going with on my pronunciation there. He saddled with the loss, 5 earned runs over 5 innings. Liam O'Sullivan gets the win, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks. Derek Self locks down his second save with a 1-2-3 ninth. And finally, the Legends took Sunday's game to complete the sweep. They win 10-7, scored them in bunches, 3 runs in the first, 4 in the third, 3 more in the sixth. Brandon Phillips homered again for Lexington. Daddy Brandon gets it done. Goes back-to-back with Ben Aklinski. That's Aklinski's 4th home run of 2021, getting his numbers. For the Power, Alberto Callaspo and Teodoro Martinez both notched their first home runs of the year. Welcome to the party. Tristan Roberts, he had a rough outing for West Virginia. Hate to see it. 2 1/3, 6 earned, 1 K, and 9 walks. Walks are going to be a theme from here on out. That was 5 first inning walks as well, 4 in a row at one point. He also peppered a balk in there because everybody be balking now. Walked 9 of the 17 batters he faced. Tristan hit the zone. First Atlantic League outing after 9 sketchy innings with Claiborne. Hate to say it. There were 18 total walks in this game too. As it'll be it's a whole thing. The number of walks is outrageous right now. We're going to touch on it in a sec. But Derek Self, he gets another save for Legends, so that makes it 3 for him for keeping track at home. He did allow the tying run to come to the plate, a little more drama, but he escaped the jam. Brandon Phillips gets the game ball, 2 for 5 with a double and a homer, 3 RBI on the day, a 1.310 OPS this season. He's getting it done. Legends have started their home season with 6 straight wins and now lead the South Division at 7-3. There's a very real possibility, by the way, that they stay there for the rest of the season at the top of the division. And this is a good ball club. If they can keep it together, if they can fill the gaps they need to, this team's going to roll. Power fall to 4-5. The series flips to West Virginia for 3 games as the Power look to bounce back against the Legends. In High Point, Gastonia falls short of a late comeback against the Rockers in Game 1. High Point would take that one 3-2. Luke Westfall gets the game ball and the win. 5 2/3 shutout innings, 3 hits, 4 walks, and 6 Ks. Honey Hunters got even though in Game 2. Josh Sale homered his 3rd of the year. Just an insane story. I'm looking to hopefully get some conversation with him at some point in the future, but follow along with what he's got going on. He's hitting with an over 900 OPS right now. I mean, this story is just unbelievable. Go look it up. Go check out my best content on it. I'm not going to overload this with Josh Sale talk because I don't want to put the bad juju on him, but Josh Sale, man. You love to see it. And there's multiple guys, by the way, who just have him, Preston Gainey, Adam Taylor, who just showed up for High Point. Guys who haven't pitched or played in years because of either injury or just way life runs. And they're back and they're doing it well, man. So you love to see it for the Atlantic League. You love to see it for the players themselves. You love to see it for the stories. This is what's great about baseball. Miles Williams also goes deep for the Honey Hunters. Gary DiSorcina and Stuart Levi hit homers for High Point, but Gastonia holds on to win 4-2. Bobby Scott gets a save. Riley Hovis gets the win. 5 shutout innings in his first start since 2016. That earns him the game ball. Game 3 was rained out. They're going to make that up July 13th as part of a doubleheader. Keep that in mind. If you like free baseball, there's a doubleheader for you. Revolution and the Barnstormers. This was weird, and we're going to take some time to break this one down. The Revolution and Barnstormers kick off a wild War of the Roses start in Lancaster. It was just, the whole thing was crazy. It was a brutal home opener for Lancaster, first of all. Short on pitchers, the pitching staff just melted down. York would win 18-2. Duke Von Schaman grabs his first win of the season. 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, allowed 7 hits, did allow 6 walks. Again, more on the walks later. Nelly Rodriguez takes his second game ball of the year with a 3-run homer and 2 walks in 5 plate appearances. This was all thanks in large part, though, to 17 walks by Lancaster pitchers. Barnstormer pitchers, like the actual pitchers, the rostered pitchers, allowed 21.6 walks per 9. That was the pace they were on over the time that they were pitching. However, position players who came into pitch, position players pitching, they delivered just at a 3.9 walk per 9 pace. So the way it breaks down is you are like 7 times practically more likely to be walked by a Lancaster pitcher than if you were facing a Lancaster position player. 24 walks between the two teams, 32% of at-bats. Nearly a third of all at-bats in this game ended in a walk. That is not sustainable. Again, we're going to talk walks in a minute, I promise. I keep hinting at it. We're going to get there. The Barnstormers won a back-and-forth game 2 on Saturday, though. They made it work 10-9 in 10 innings. Bases loaded, Anthony Peroni single walked it off for Lancaster. Scott Schumann went 2 innings out of the pen for Lancaster. 6 up, 6 down in those 2 innings. 4 strikeouts, 5 scoreless innings to start 2021. In those 5 innings, 7 Ks, only 2 hits allowed. Ladarius Clark earns his second ALPB Roundup game ball of the season. 3 for 4 with a walk, 2 home runs, 3 RBI, scored 4 times. They had so much fun battling like this, they decided it was time to do it again. Lancaster knocks York starter Austin Steinfort out early. 1 inning pitched for Austin, 8 earned, 3 walks, 1 K, including back-to-back-to-back jacks in the first for Lancaster. Ladarius Clark homered again. That got him to 5, as we discussed earlier, tied for the league lead right now. Kelly Duke and Blake Alamada also involved in that. York bullpen actually held up well from there, so credit to them. They allowed only 2 more runs on a Melvin Mercedes triple. Now York was already in a 10-1 hole after 2 innings. That one, by the way, from Darian Sanford's first home run since 2013. Shout out to Darian Sanford getting it done. A little bit of power in the little man. Fought back with 2 manufactured runs in the 3rd, but went quiet until the 7th. Down 12-3 at this point. Tommy Shirley exits the game, relieved by Jamarcus Lang. Now, I hate to pile on. Lang, he had entered with 2 outings under his belt. He had gotten 1 out in those 2 outings and allowed 7 earned runs for a 189, not 1.89, like 189 ERA. He would improve that number, but not by much. Allowed 5 runs, again, got only 1 out. I suspect this could be the last we see of Jamarcus Lang. I hate to even put that in the universe. Dude's grinding, but it's just a brutal start. So I don't really know if we'll see him again. But Lancaster is extremely short on pitching. We got to this point because Heath Philmeyer was signed away after a good opening day start. They've tried to fill gaps. They've been losing pitchers, but they've tried to fill gaps with. They brought in Daniel Taggart, but so far he's posted an ERA above 14. They signed Jamarcus Lang. We just discussed how that's gone. They activated Gabriel Moya and Brooks Hall. That was back on the 4th. Moya hasn't even gotten into a game. Hall looked good in his start, actually, so credit to him. Meanwhile, Dom DiSabatino and Yoel Espinal are arms that just haven't panned out to this point for Lancaster, and they seem to be getting desperate. In comes Garrett Granitz to stop the bleeding. Immediately allows a grand slam to Nelly Rodriguez. That accounts for the final 3 of Lang's 5 earned runs. York makes it a 12-9 game. Granitz immediately loads the bases again before striking out Tyler Hill for the inning's second out and then being removed. Junior Rincon comes in and he induces an Andrew Dundon pop-up to escape the frame, but unfortunately Rincon would allow 2 runs in the 8th to bring York within 1 run. Ross Peoples now, what do you do? What do you do with this situation? You need someone to close this out. You're looking down there, you're looking to right field, you're seeing who you got available, looking at that bullpen. And then your eye drifts a little bit away from that line. And your closer's in right, but he's in right field because he brings in Blake Galen. 4 outings in his career since 2008. Now, this includes 2 this season, and to be fair, he's credited with no earned runs from those 5 innings he's pitched. Galen hands out punchy to Tyler Hill, punchy to Andrew Dundon before walking Darian Sanford. What's he going to do? Don't worry. Picks them off, does it himself. Blake Galen, the man, the myth, the legend, gets it done in the outfield, in the batter's box, on the mound. And here's the crazy thing. Now, I'm like, Blake Galen, I mean, how much has he pitched, right? I check out his Twitter account, see if he's posted anything recently. No, not since that game. But there's a conversation on Twitter between him and a former teammate of his talking about how Blake used to pitch. And Blake's got, I'm not kidding, this is from 2 days before this happens, how Blake's got this nasty secret pickoff and how it isn't a balk, but everyone thinks it is, and it's so good, it's the secret. And then 2 days later, here he is. Boom. Lefty, quick pickoff down to first. Darian Sanford, thanks for coming out, gone, series done. Lancaster holds on for 2 of 3. Legendary activities. Blake Galen gets the game ball. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. Of course he does. Here, York has scored 59 runs over 4 games, but only gets 2 wins to show for their trouble. York can't afford to be doing that. York has already put themselves in a hole early on. And you only go on a stretch like this maybe once a year, if you're really lucky, twice a year, where you're scoring this many runs in bulk. 59 in 4 games is outrageous. That's almost 15 a game. And they only have 2 wins to show for it. It's not getting it done. It is not the behavior of a winning team. And York's going to have to find some answers and find it quick before this offense cools off too much and they lose their window here. Nelly Rodriguez goes 5 for 11, 4 walks, 8 ribbies, 2 home runs, and a double for the series. 1.872 OPS for the series. Bonus game ball for league-wide player of the weekend goes to Ladarius Clark. Thought it was going to be Daryl Thompson when this thing started, but Ladarius Clark was 5 for 9, 3 home runs. I think that it's like a 2 OPS. It's ridiculous. Like, don't want to face Ladarius Clark right now. Tuck that away, pitchers. Note that. Maybe pitch around him if you get the opportunity. Lancaster is 6-4, and they sit atop the North Division. They're going to welcome Gastonia, who they took 3 of 4 from to open the season, so they have a good chance to keep this momentum going, as long as they keep that bullpen under control. York falls to 3-7, and they're tied for last in the North. They will play Southern Maryland, as discussed a little bit earlier. Those two meeting beginning Tuesday. We're going to find out. It's not a must-win by any means. We're 10 games in the season. Let's not freak out. With the series recaps out of the way, I was going to talk about a few things, but I'm just going to focus this, because it's been a bit of a long video, on the topic of the day, which is the walks. Walks galore, and it's not just Lancaster and York, like I said. Multiple teams have been walking guys all over the place here. So what to do about this, what's going on, that's something that we should look at. So here's a quick look at across the leagues, and I say leagues as in like the major leagues of professional baseball at this point in time. So single A up to MLB, and then the Frontier League, the American Association, and the Atlantic League. You can see just about every league has increased their walk rate. What you're looking at here is that black bar toward the left. That's going to be walk rate in 2021. The gray bar that's in the middle of each of these sections, that is the 2019 walk rate, and that red bar is going to be the percent of increase between 2019 to 2021 in that walk rate. So you can see all of the leagues have seen at least a 4% increase in the walk rate. Now comes the why. Atlantic League is out of hand. They're at 149%. They're about 2 walks away from rounding up to 150% of the walk rate from 2019 at this point in time. Again, we're early. We don't want to overreact, but these numbers are so high that it's obviously some sort of trend. It can't be ignored. It's not just it's small sample size situation. So there's a couple possibilities for what's going on here. It's something to think about. It's something to keep an eye on. I don't have any solutions to this. I think it's just something to watch. If I had solutions to this, I'd be being paid more to be somewhere else. But I'm just here. I'm assessing it, and I'm pointing out and saying, hey, this is interesting. What isn't interesting, unfortunately, is watching walks all day. So let's hope that this is something that gets cleaned up here. As you can see, 10.6 walks per game. If you go to see a game right now, you're going to see on average 10.5 walks between the two teams. So it's not ideal, not what we want to see. It's something that we will definitely keep an eye on. Definitely seeing all of the baseball strangeness that we did not see in 2020. So I hope you're enjoying it. We're here for a party. We're here for an indie ball. What did I just say on Twitter? Ain't no party like an indie ball party, because the indie ball party don't stop until all the cool kids get signed by MLB organizations. I'll stick to doing this. I'm Ryan. Have a good one. We'll catch up on the Tuesday games, either Wednesday morning or Tuesday night, depending on how your boys feeling.